Welcome to This Is Not a Podcast. It's not exactly a live stream. It's just my thoughts with Rob Markman. I think that's the name of the show. Is this even the show? If this is a show, I think that's the name. But y'all know, man, I've been following this Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Drake situation when Dot dropped Like That with Future and Metro Boomin. That was actually the first video I did in this format. I didn't know I was going to do another one, y'all. Was amazing in the comments. We had a lot of good discussion in the comments. And so, I continue just to keep it going, right? Cole responded with 7-minute drill. Friday, I dropped another video. We're going to get into what my reaction was there. Because I'm usually not the I told you so guy, but I told you so. You know what I'm saying? Because last night, April 7th at Dreamville Fest, Cole got on stage and surprisingly retracted his diss and said he had asked Eve to take the song off the project, the latest project, Might Delete Later, which is a dope project. So we're going to get into all of that. Now, I've been debating like how to edit these clips, right? Real quick. And I debated playing the Cole clip, like ripping it, putting it into this video just for context. But I'm going to be honest with y'all. And it might make the video better if I do that, right? But I'm going to be honest. These videos I'm creating right now are mine. All my other interviews, my content, the shows that I did, MTV owns that, or Genius owns that, or Amazon owns that. And right now, I gave so much to the game all these years. I've been in this 20 years. I want to have something that's my own, right? And so if I put the clips in here, I could get flagged. I could get demonetized. That's somebody else's content. So I'm just going to break down the quotes, man. We're just going to talk for right now. This is just the format, and this is how I'm going to keep it. So let's get into the thing, right, while we're all here. So Cole is doing the set last night. He's at Dreamville. He starts off with Crocodile Tears, which is my favorite song off of Might Delete Later. I think that song is hard. I thought it was a dope project. Crocodile Tears is my favorite fucking song. Cole is running through his records. He brings out guests. He brings out Yachty. He brings out Dirk, Jeremiah, Black, Central C. All the Dreamville comes out. They do their collaborations, right? But what we're all wondering, what everybody is wondering is if he's going to do 7-minute drill and what is he going to say about Kendrick. Now, for the record, I wasn't there. For the past 2 years, I have been a part of the team that hosted the live stream for Amazon Music. And leading up to the festival this year, Amazon producer reached out to me and asked me if I was available. At that point, there was nothing going on my calendar for the weekend. So, yeah, I said, yeah. And then we spoke a couple of weeks after that, and they were just like, yo, we decided to move in a different direction. It'd be like that sometimes, business. I just say that to add context. I wasn't there. I watched on the live stream. Like, yeah, I know a lot of people hit me up like, yo, why aren't you there? So, that's what happened. But, look, it's all working out because if I was there, I probably wouldn't be doing this video, right? I usually like to travel, if not that very night when something is over and catch the last flight out. I'm usually on the first flight in the morning. So I would have been traveling. This would have been tough. So we're right where we need to be. All right. Okay, so just some backstory, some context. Cole's running through his set, but everybody is wondering. I'm sure everybody there was wondering. I know everybody watching the live stream. I seen social media. What's he going to do? What's he going to say about this Kendrick thing? So, he starts off. I'm so proud of that project. He's talking about Might Delete Later, which just dropped on Friday. I'm so proud of that project, except for one part. And as soon as he said the except for one part, I said, oh. Okay, like he's gonna walk this back. You know what I'm saying? So he says, I'm so proud of the project except for one part. There's one part of that shit that makes me feel like that's the lamest shit I ever did in my fucking life. And here it goes. From there, it was clear. As soon as he said that, I said, oh, we're seeing something that I don't think we've ever seen in hip hop. All right, so Cole continues, right? He says, for the first time I was tested because I got the world and my people like, what you gonna do, Cole? Now, I remember when I did my 7-minute drill video, right? I said that Cole's tone sounded off. I said he sounded reluctant, like he didn't want to do it. I said it sounded like, and I know this from experience. This was my first fight ever when I was maybe 6 or 7. I said it sounded like, when you were younger and there's a bully on your block outside and your mom forced you to go outside to fight. Like your mom said, listen, man, Either I'm gonna fuck him up, or I'm gonna fuck you up. Like that was my first fight, literally at 6 or 7 years old. So you're forced to go out there to do it reluctantly, but your heart isn't in it, right? To me, it was clear that you could hear in the music that Cole didn't want to be there. First off, it was the last record on the album, which to me, Cole was always planning to drop Might Delete Later. That's what those videos were about. So this project was always coming. It made sense that he would drop a project right before Dreamville. The fall off isn't ready yet. He's really slow cooking that. So all this made sense. These plans were in motion. And when Kendrick dropped the Like That verse, he disrupted Cole's plans. It was apparent he disrupted whatever Cole had going on. Wasn't exactly expecting that. Kendrick disrupted his plans, and Cole was forced to say something, but he didn't want to. He wasn't in that headspace. And if you listen to the music, especially from a guy like Cole, the music doesn't lie. The music never lies. You can hear it in his music. Well, guess what? Now, Cole came out and said what I heard. I heard the tone was off. I heard he didn't want to be there. It's what a lot of us heard. And it's kind of like in Boys in the Hood, for those that are old enough to remember or seen that movie. It's a classic. So if you haven't seen it, you should have seen it. The scene where Trey wants to get out the car, where they're looking for revenge to kill the guys who killed Ricky, and Trey is mad, man. He's charged up, like he's ready. That's his best friend. And then they're driving around, and when it sinks in, he says, "Yo, Doe, let me out the car." And I know we can kind of laugh or joke about that. And Cole is taking a lot of bullets, a lot of heats. There's a lot of jokes at Cole's expense on social media. But if you watch Boys in the Hood, you knew that's like Trey wasn't that guy. Trey and Doughboy were drastically different. So it made sense when Trey says, "Hey, let me out the car." If you're listening to Cole, if you're following Cole, if you heard that song, you knew that wasn't who Cole was. And he didn't do anything. It wasn't anything like, yes, there was a lot of gun bars, but that was all rap. Like, there's nothing violent. I never thought none of this was going to spill out the booth. But just the conflicted nature of this, like you kind of knew that's like Cole wasn't that. And if you're a real J. Cole fan and really listened to the music and then really heard the song, you could tell it didn't sit right with him. So, Cole goes on. He talks about how he feels about his peers, both Kendrick and Drake. He talks about their greatness. Then he said, "I felt conflicted because I know I really don't feel no way, but the world want to see blood." You know what I'm saying? I don't really feel no way. That's the difference between Cole and Kendrick. That I don't really feel no way. I fully think that Kendrick is ready to be in his Compton bully era, right? We've seen The Good Kid. We've seen the pain and the survivor's guilt that he experienced and rapped about onto Pimp a Butterfly. That's what that whole album is about, is survivor's guilt. That whole album is about, I made it, and the rest of my people that I grew up with in Compton are still going through the same things, and I can't take them with me. We've seen the reluctant star on Damn. We've seen the flawed human on Mr. Morale. And we like to put Kendrick on this moral pedestal, right? But there's a bunch of sides to him, just like there's a bunch of sides to any of us, right? But I think when it comes to being an MC, when it comes to being that top rap guy, I think Kendrick is motivated to be in that spot. I think he loves hip hop that much. I think he's super competitive. I think, he grew up like the rest of us, watching Jay-Z and Nas go at it and know what that meant, and LL and Cannabis and Jadakiss and Beanie Siegel. I should do a whole video on that because I think that's the most even battle. That's the most evenly matched hip hop battle we ever seen. Bunch of stuff on the West Coast, Big and Pac or whatever, even though that was far less lyrical. I say all that to say that, I think Kendrick is just like us as a rap fan. And I think Cole too, as a rap fan, you turned on and excited by those beefs, by those sparring sessions. And I think what Kendrick wants for his career, he wants to be in that top spot. I think he's extremely competitive. And I think he's willing to take it places that his peers aren't. And again, I'm just talking lyrically. Again, I never think this is going to spill out to the streets. But it's clear that Kendrick is the aggressor here. And he and Cole are just different in that regard. At the very least, they're at different points in their life right now, where Cole just doesn't seem willing to entertain it. But so Cole goes on to say, I moved in a way that spiritually felt bad on me. I tried to jab back, and I try to keep it friendly. But at the end of the day, when I listen to it, it is 7 Minute Drill. When I listen to it, and when it comes out, and when I see the talk, that's the social media talk. That's all the things that y'all was saying. That shit don't sit right with my spirit. That shit disrupts my fucking peace. So boom, that part right there, that shit disrupts my fucking peace. This move from Cole, I mean, it takes nothing away from the fact that he's been rapping at a top tier elite level right now, right? The Secret Recipe with Yachty, his verse on Dirk's All My Life, his Johnny P. Caddy verse with Manny the Butcher, his first person shooter verse, all over this Might Delete Later project. And so anyone who's denying Cole as a rapper, that Cole has been rapping at an elite level, at the highest level, really over the past year has been rapping better than anybody. And again, I said this in the last video. Of course, you have your Royce the 5'9", your Black Thoughts. There are people who, I don't want to say purely rapping for sport, but there are people who are less popular than Cole who can be more lyrically dense because they're not chasing the mainstream. Like, for Royce, for Black Thought, like, don't everybody have to get it? I think Cole is in this mainstream space where it's mass appeal, but it's still lyricism. He don't abandon the lyricism. So when I talk about that, right? When you look at it through those lenses, Cole is rapping the best right now at the highest level. I just think it's undeniable. So boom, right? It disrupts my fucking peace, man. But this doesn't change. It disrupts his peace, but this just doesn't change the fact that he's still ill. You know what I'm saying? And what he's saying is, this isn't about competition no more. This isn't about me competing. This is about peace. And I could respect that, right? So, yes, I absolutely wanted to see a battle. I absolutely wanted to see the two best guys, the three best artists, the three top artists go at it, meaning Cole, Drake, and Kendrick. Yes, I wanted to see that. As a fan of hip hop, I wanted to see that. I wanted the competition. Hip hop was built on that competition, right? There's nothing wrong with that competition. And again, when it stays lyrically, when it stays in the booth, when it doesn't spill over to something physical, there is nothing wrong with that competition. It is healthy for the game. I think it is needed. I think it is necessary, right? And we all know Cole, like I said, grew up a big Cannabis fan. So I know he had to have loved Second Round Knockout when Cannabis won at L. I know he tuned in like the rest of us when Jay-Z battled Nas. As fans, there's nothing wrong with that. I think Cole can admit that. But, another thing that hip hop was based on, not just competition and just art in general, is based on the truth. So yes, Cole is bowing out of the competitive side of this thing, right? But he's telling his truth. He's owning his truth. He's living in his truth. He's saying, yo, I'm not that guy. Like, at least, again, not at this point. And he could still rap about, maybe we might not want to hear it tomorrow, but he could still rap about how he's the best. Because a lot of times when MCs write, sometimes there's not a specific target. When you're saying I'm the best, it's just a sea of different people, but you're not picking out somebody. It's like this unnamed MC that you're battling when you do that. I'm the best this, I'm the best that, right? Obviously, Cole recently has got more specific when, he talks about the big three and all of that and the Spider-Man meme. But a lot of times MCs write those verses and there's no specific target, right? And you're just hyping yourself up. So I don't think nothing's wrong with that. But when it actually comes to this head-to-head competition, especially with Kendrick, especially somebody who I know that he considered a friend, somebody who he's had a close relationship with, and I'm sure they'll be close in the future. I think they'll be fine. Cole told his truth. He said, yo, this disrupts my peace. So he's prioritizing his peace over the crown. And, I respect that. All right, now, so let's talk about the angle that Cole took, all right, in 7 Minute Drill. In my last video, I said he took the wrong angle trying to downplay Kendrick's discography. And, battle rappers like real, like Smack, the URLs, like the real guys who go head to head know all about like finding the right angle, right? Finding like, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm the most well versed in battle rap, but for me, like Loaded Lux, like looks for an angle. They all like look for an angle. They look for a thing, and then a chip in the armor. It's about taking a truth or half a truth or something that's just very believable and twisting it and weaving and creating a story and a narrative out of it, right? And the same thing is when you're battling on records. Like, what's the angle? How am I gonna pick apart Kendrick? Where's the weakness at? Similar to boxing, right? Like, styles make fights, and where's the weakness at? Where can I find an edge? And my last video, I was clear on this. I said I thought Cole took the wrong angle when he tried to downplay Kendrick's discography. The line: your first shit was classic, your last shit was tragic, your second shit put to sleep, but they gassed it. Your third shit was massive, and that was your prime. I was trailing right behind, and I just now hit mine. After that, everyone debated. Shame on y'all. Everybody debated. I saw a lot of people on social media debated if Dots to Pimp a Butterfly was ever that good. And the answer is yes. The answer was always yes. It is a classic record. It's an incredible body of work. And when Cole spit that, like, I knew he didn't believe it. It was funny to see the narrative. And then he talked about listening back to his song, but then seeing the talk online, and he just didn't like the way it was going. I didn't know that I was going to disrupt this piece like that. I just didn't think strategically it wasn't a great angle to take, and I thought it would backfire. So on the stage, Cole said the same thing I said, the same thing a lot of us said, right? I'm not just taking credit. A lot of us was in agreement. But he said, man, trying to find a little angle and downplay his catalog and his greatness. And then Cole went to the crowd and said, I want to see how many people think Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest motherfuckers to ever touch a motherfucking microphone. And the crowd cheers, like, resoundingly, all right? Now, there were a lot of people in the YouTube comments, on social media, saying I was being biased and I was taking sides, that I was a Kendrick fan. And, I just want to make this clear, I'm a fan of both of them. And you could be fans of both. I don't have to pick a side. Those fans that went to Dreamville that paid hundreds, probably thousands of dollars for those tickets to travel. They came from all across the country to travel to be there, spend a ton of money. And when Cole asked them if Kendrick is one of the illest, they all applauded and cheered. These are Cole's fans. This is his base. It's undeniable both of these guys is great. It's okay to have a favorite. I have my favorites too. But you don't got to pick a side where it's like, yo, this guy is supreme and the other guy is trash. Like, Kendrick isn't trash. Or if you're standing on the other side, Cole isn't trash. To Pimp a Butterfly isn't trash. Like, so, I say all that to say, look, I jump on these videos, and of course I have a natural bias. I'm human. We all do. But I always aim to tell the story as straight as possible, as fair as possible. But some of y'all owe me an apology. Part of this thing, I be in the comments. We be talking in the comments. I love the discussion. But some of y'all owe me an apology. I made a list. Jonathan Little 24. You owe me an apology, brother. Come to the front of the table. Come to the congregation. Be in these comments. Say you were wrong. Say you were wrong, man. I wasn't being biased. James Hefe 3883, you owe me an apology. Sean Dawn 9515, you owe me an apology. Yes, I'm being petty. Kendall Blanding 387, you owe me an apology. And who knows, man? Some of these might have been bots. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna have some fun with it. We're gonna see. I wasn't being biased, man. I wasn't trying to downplay Cole's greatness. But, you just call it like I see it. And when I heard 7 Minute Drill, it was just apparent to me. It was super clear that Cole didn't want to be there. All right, so Cole goes on and he says, I just want to come up here and publicly be like, bruh, that was the lamest, goofiest shit. It made me feel like 10 years ago when I was moving incorrectly. And I pray God will line me back up on my purpose and on my path. I pray Kendrick didn't really feel no way. And if he did, I got my chin out. Take your best shot. I'm gonna take that shit on the chin. Um, it's funny. One, I don't think the diss never got personal, so I don't know if Kendrick kind of threw those shots. I don't, Kendrick feeling away, and Cole is basically just waving the white flag. Hey, I'm done. If Kendrick wanted to say something, fine. I'll take whatever comes my way. It'll be interesting if Kendrick continues to throw shots. That'll really show if he's in his villain era or not, right? Like if he's in his bully era. If a guy says, "Hey, I'm good, man, I'm done," and you continue, that's some super bully shit. I don't think Dot will go there. I think this is basically done. But it'll be interesting to see what happens, and then that whole take your best shot. I'm gonna take it on the chin. I think waving the white flag, saying that he regretted doing it was enough, but kind of like inviting further shots. I thought that was a bit much. It should probably end now. I mean, but we'll see what happens. But it's just that Cole is really clear that he's just not into this competition, and he's not going to engage. It doesn't seem like under any circumstances will you be able to pull Cole into this ring, and that's fine. And he goes on to say, "The past 2 days felt terrible. It let me know how good I've been sleeping for the past 10 years. Again, when somebody tells you that they're not sleeping at night, like, I can't be mad at him for prioritizing his peace. I know everybody wanted to see a battle. I wanted to see a battle too. But I can't be mad at somebody for prioritizing their peace. This shit, especially like rapping against the guy that I know he has love for, he's just not willing to go there. And guess what? If we're being real, the records weren't going to be that great anyway. I didn't think 7 Minute Drill was great. There was actually an interview with T Minus, who I said I loved. I also said I didn't think the beat was great. And, he revealed that it was part of one of Cole's 7 Minute Drills. So they made the beat in 7 minutes. I think Cole made the rap in 7 minutes or 14 minutes, but it was like some short period of time according to T Minus. And it just wasn't a great response. Like from a record standpoint, I understand it's because Cole's spirit wasn't in it. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, if he's telling you, yo, just spiritually, I'm not here, I'm not in this place, we weren't going to get a good battle anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like it just wasn't going to be great records because his spirit wasn't aligned. And that would have been disappointing because we're used to Cole making great records. Like Cole makes great and classic records. So for him to jump into this battle and those records not to be great, I actually think that's more damaging than him bowing out at this point. To continue on knowing his heart isn't in it and making subpar records. He's going to lose that battle anyway in public perception. Not because he isn't great, not because he can't compete, not because he isn't lyrical. It's because what he's saying, his heart isn't in it. His spirit is in the line. Now, I know a lot of people are clowning Cole. We want to see the battle. But, with the likes of Kendrick, with the likes of Drake, when you go there, you have to be all in. You have to be. Like, you have to be all in. Like Kendrick is serious about this. You know what I'm saying? And he's proved how serious about this he is. Drake, time and time again, has showed us how much he wants this. So you have to be all in. And Cole's kind of sentiment aligns with just who he is and the records that people connect with, like Love Yours. He performed Love Yours right after this speech. This is the same guy who did Let Nas Down. So, Cole has always been very self-aware about who he is. He's been critical of himself. He's owned up to mistakes that he's felt he's made. With how he played the game, how he approached albums and singles, and so like Let Nas Down is part of that. He's always been very self-aware. And while people are clowning him and say, yo, he took the easy way out, bruh, getting on that stage and saying that shit in front of fans who are ready to go this weekend, like fans who are ready to just erupt at any. Cole could have said anything on that stage, and those fans would have erupted. Cole could have fought it on that stage as a response to Kendrick, and people would have been like, that was the illest fought ever. You know what I'm saying? Like people were just ready to go. And, like Cole said, we wanted to see blood. And so for him to get up there and kind of bow out and speak his piece, I can't imagine that was easy either. You kind of be like, yo, he took the easy way out. But he knew, I'm going to get up here, I'm going to get clowned. It seems like his team didn't know that he was going to say that. I don't imagine that any of that was easy. So I don't necessarily think he took the easy way out either. And honestly, I think it's going to make Cole fans love him more. It's just a very human part of Cole. And that's when he's at his best anyway. So what happens next, right? I think Kendrick was ready to respond and go at it. He might have even had records in the tuck, but Kendrick was ready. Feel like this kind of disarms Kendrick. I personally think Kendrick just drops it with Cole. I don't think it goes any further. It'll be interesting to see if he clowns Cole for it in the verse or takes a subtle jab. But I think Cole just disrupted Dot's plans. The same way Dot disrupted Cole's plans to drop Might Delete Later, right? Like I think this is totally disarming. It feels like between Kendrick and Cole, this is dead moving forward. We still haven't heard from Drake. And, I don't think Drake takes the same route as Cole against Kendrick. Drake has a real competitive spirit. I still think Drake responds, and we'll see how that unravels. It'll be interesting if Drake bows out too, because then they both will be totally like disarming Kendrick. And then I think Kendrick will talk shit. If Drake bows out, I think Kendrick will talk shit. But I don't think Drake is bowing out. I think Drake will, I've said this before, Drake lives for these moments. A lot of people be like, yo, he ducked Pusha T. No, he went at Pusha T. He underestimated Pusha with Duppy, where he aimed more the disses at Kanye than Push. He threw shots at Joe. He didn't drop the 6 diss records back to Joe that Joe dropped at him. Joe was 1 foot in and 1 foot out anyway at that point. You can argue about that. But Drake has responded and met the challenges to these battles more times than not. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really see Drake shying away from this. As far as Cole, he's going to get clowned for a bit. And he knows this. That's how hip hop is. There's going to be the memes in this social media area. There's going to be the hot takes. There's going to be the podcast with the screaming and the yelling and the exaggerated things so you could clip to go viral. It's way easier to make the joke. And, you get likes, you get engagement. The funnier the joke, the funnier the meme. It's easy to pile on. So he's going to have to withstand that for a bit, right? But the dust will settle, and I think Cole will be back to being Cole for sure. And I think he can still rap about being the best. Again, he's supposed to feel that way. It's just easier to rap about like those undefined MCs that I was talking about, right? Like, again, a lot of times when rappers rap about I'm the best, it's not really directed at anybody. You're saying that to hype yourself up. So, look, I think Cole will have to withstand these jokes for a while. I think he'll gear up for the Fall Off. I expect the Fall Off to be a dope album. He's been slow cooking this for years. High expectations for the Fall Off, and I think he'll show his greatness, and this will blow over. I think ultimately, again, if he would have, think about Damage, right? If he would have did this battle, his heart isn't in it, he loses, he's getting clowned anyway. To me, he's going to get clowned anyway. At least he lived in his truth. And I think he can make records about that. And, I think that'll be interesting. And it just falls in line with who Cole has been his whole career. So, I mean, none of this changes Cole's talent is what I'm saying, essentially. And none of this changes his greatness. But, it's going to stink for a while. But, as far as me, those are my thoughts. It's all subjective. But like I said, I try to keep it balanced. So let me know what y'all think. Like, subscribe, leave your comments. I'll be in the comments. A couple of y'all owe me an apology. I want to see y'all in them comments saying, Rob, you was right. But we going to see, man. I'm going to be right there with y'all until the next one. Peace.